Hey, what's going on, guys? Porter here. Today, we're going to talk about the Season 4 patch notes that they released a few days ago for the new Season 4 on Call of Duty Warzone. I know I'm a couple days late on here, but there's a lot of good stuff and a lot of good content on here, and I think they're definitely going in the right direction um, with their updates, especially balancing the guns and the overall uh, play of the game. I feel like even from last season, season three, they're really starting to get their act together, and they're starting to provide us more notes that kind of keep us like involved of what's going on, what kind of buffs they're doing, what kind of nerfs they're doing, and they're more in detail. Before they were kind of a little more on the vague side, but now they're really getting in depth and like giving us like percentages and numbers, and it's kind of nice to see a more in-depth view of what they're doing. But like I said, this patch note is huge. There's a lot of bug fixes, a lot of game content, new guns, a lot of buffs and nerfs to the weapons, and new weapons as well. So, other than that, if you find this video helpful or entertaining in any way, definitely hit that like and subscribe button. It definitely helps out the channel, and it definitely helps me out. But other than that, let's go ahead and get into it. All right, let's go ahead and go over the patch notes. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to cover the good stuff that most people want to see, the buffs and the nerfs to the guns and the new guns. So if you want to take your time and read the rest of this content, which I highly recommend, I'll leave a link of this website down in the description below if you want to check it out. So I'll just kind of go through real quick until we get to the guns here. So here's some just general notes, and then here's the Season 4 gameplay trailer, and here's the PPSH 41 and the Swiss sniper rifle. If you didn't unlock those last season, if you didn't play much, or if you're just now starting, you can do these challenges to unlock it. General bug fixes. Here's an update to the playlist. Limited time event. They're adding in the Verdansk Resurgence mini mode. Here's the battle pass. They're just highlighting the big items, but obviously in between all these, there's other little items. Here's an update to things that they did in Verdansk. They added in Pride calling cards, and they did general stuff through here. Gameplay, they added in a dirt bike. That thing's crazy to drive. It's pretty fast once it gets going, but it's hard to control. Then some just other small gameplay stuff there. More bug fixes, so there's a lot going on there. UI and social and more. And here is the new weapons. So let's go ahead and get into the good stuff here. So the new weapons, there's the MG82 LMG. That's the Cold War LMG, and you unlock it on Battle Pass Tier 15. Right now, it's an absolute beast. It is definitely overpowered, and I've heard they're gonna nerf it relatively soon. I don't know how soon relatively soon is. It may be like mid-season, or it could be here in a few weeks. So definitely unlock this, max it out, and have a lot of fun with it. It does need nerfed. A lot of people are just melting people, and it's a little bit annoying. So I go ahead and take advantage of it while you can. The C58, I haven't unlocked this yet. This is a Battle Pass tier 30. I grind out my Battle Pass tiers, so I'm getting close. I can't wait to start putting my custom attachments on it and everything. But as far as floor loot, I absolutely love picking it up and using it. It's a lot of fun. Nail gun is ridiculously good if you can hit your targets. If you miss, it's definitely unforgiving just because it has a slower fire rate. But if you hit accurately, it packs a punch. Let's see, baseball bat. Let's see, it looks like a submachine gun. It says in season, so this will probably be the mid-season update. They'll add in the submachine gun. Was that the OT's 9, I guess? Then mid-season update as well will be the Mace. And here is the buff and nerfs. So this is really nice. They started doing this in season 3. They kind of give us a little picture of what's going on here. And the up arrows are obviously buffs, and the down arrows are nerfs. And then you'll notice like little tilde signs. Um, so what these are, this is they just like make some adjustment to the gun. It doesn't negatively impact it or really a positive impact. It just change it slightly. We'll get to that here in a second. So it's kind of nice. They also add in these little notes here explaining what they're doing, which is really nice. I like how they're doing that. They're kind of keeping us in the loop better on what's going on and what they're trying to shift towards. So I feel like right here, this is really important. So we expect these changes will bring the average time to kill up by approximately 60 to 100 milliseconds. So basically what they're trying to do, they're trying to make the time to kill longer, which is a good thing because that lengthens that skill gap. Because if you have OP guns, kind of like that LMG, the new LMG that's going on, you can just absolutely shred people, and it doesn't take as much skill to do that. So when you make the time to kill longer, it takes more skill to down somebody. So I like what they're trying to do, what they're trying to make Warzone into. So that's a good thing. So the AMAX got nerfed again. So this is the third time I believe it's been nerfed since season 3, and obviously as you can see through here, all the other guns. So as we kind of scroll through here, this upper torso damage multiplier decreased from 1.2 to 2.1, so just a little bit of a nerf again there. The Groza definitely needed a buff there, so as you can see there, they buffed it a little bit. They definitely kind of nerfed it to the ground, but it's still kind of a weird gun. It can kind of excel in the close and mid-range fights, but that's really about it. I hate the iron sights, but if you like it, go for it. But um, as far as long range, it's the recoil still isn't the best for that. See the assault rifle golf. That's the Modern Warfare Scar. I still don't think it's. I think it's usable definitely in solos and duos, but the max clip I believe is 30, and that's just not a big enough magazine clip to use in trios and quads. So they need to do something else there if they want to make it more viable. XM4, I think this is a great gun, and they buffed it a little bit. It is the neck damage, which they just started telling us about neck damage in Season 3, and nobody really knew about that. That was even a damage marker, but needless to say, they buffed it a little bit more, so the XM4 is definitely a great option there. Handguns, the AMP-63, it's the new handgun in Cold War. I know a lot of people didn't like it, so it definitely needed a pretty big buff, and looks like they gave it to it. Then the melee ballistic knife. I've never seen anybody use this, but if that's your cup of tea and you're trying to go for a clip or something, it looks like they gave it a buff there. Shotguns, my street sweeper. I absolutely love the Gallo and the street sweeper, like neck and neck for me, and they nerf the crap out of this, unfortunately. But it needed a little bit, but I don't think that it needed this much. They actually absolutely just shredded the damage range right here. There's 3 different damage ranges: the max damage range, second damage range, and the third damage range drop off. They just you're gonna have to shoot like ridiculously close with this shotgun now. See, sniper rifles. Um, so sniper rifle Charlie, Black Ops Cold War. Was this the M82, the semi-auto sniper rifle, whatever that one's called? Um, as you can tell, I don't use it much, so so they made the bullet velocity better, and then made the upper and torso damage multiplier better. Then the K-Swiss, this was where it did not have a negative or a positive. It was just kind of a slight change here, so they did that to that and the Bullfrog. So so what they did, base optic functionality improved and base reticle updated. So they just kind of made the aim down sights and the scope just better, cleaner. Okay, so for the submachine guns, submachine gun alpha, so that's going to be the AUG in Modern Warfare. So they made the upper torso damage better and maximum damage range increased. I don't know if that'll push it to be like meta or anything. I'll still have to give it a try again. It probably just makes it more viable that you can kind of use because it wasn't the greatest. But so for the Bullfrog, iron sight ADS position adjusted. So it definitely kind of needed a little bit of a shift. And it does look a lot cleaner. They did the same thing to the PPSH-41 when it first came out. It was kind of hard to see iron sight wise, and they adjusted it and it looked a lot better. So they did the same thing with the Bullfrog, so that's a plus. The KSP-45, this is the 3-burst submachine gun for the Cold War. It's a ground loot right now. It's not bad. If you can hit your shots, it's got a pretty decent time to kill, But if you missed a burst, especially two bursts, you're going to get downed. You definitely have to be very accurate with this gun. So they still probably need to tweak it a little bit more to make it a little bit better, but it's definitely viable now. Milano, they did a big buff to this. I've already used this, put custom attachments on it. It was all right. Before it was basically unusable. Now I think it's viable. You can definitely use it, but I still don't think it's meta. But they did quite a bit there, so it definitely needs some love. Submachine Gun Echo Modern Warfare, that is the Bison. They gave it a little bit of love. Maximum damage range increased and extremity damage multiplier was increased. Then Tactical Rifles DMR, they made the recoil better. It definitely needed something after when Cold War came out. This thing was ridiculously broken. It was overpowered. Then they nerfed it to the ground, and so now they kind of made the recoil a little bit better. And I've already tried this one out. I've made custom attachments on it, and it's usable again, but it's not meta. But it's nice to be usable at least again if you want to kind of mix it up. For the attachments, it made huge changes here, which is really nice. So let's start with the sniper rifles here. Basically, um, all the sniper rifles here, they made the bullet velocity better just to be more on par with the Modern Warfare sniper rifles. You can read the notes right here. These changes will bring the longest Black Ops Cold War sniper rifles much closer to the Modern Warfare equivalents. That's because they had more superior bullet velocity, so now they're closer, which is a good thing. Make it more equal. So now we're moving on to assault rifles and LMGs. A couple of these are just for the assault rifles, and then some of them are for the assault rifles and LMGs. So for the Ranger, you can see it buffs the bullet velocity, makes the recoil better, and then it makes the hipfire worse. And as you kind of go through here, you can kind of see the positives here. So the biggest thing they added in here was the recoil. So it was kind of hard to use the Cold War guns and hit people from deep unless it was like the Krig, but it still kind of had like a weird hitch in it. And the Farah, when they rekitted that, you could still use that range, but still wasn't quite as good as the Modern Warfare assault rifles and LMGs. So now that they added these recoil adjustments, when you put these guys on, especially this last one here, the Task Force, it helps out your horizontal recoil and your vertical recoil by 15%. When you put that guy on and you put on the Farah or the XM4 or the Krig, they're actually really good to use at range now, and it's a lot of fun. It's putting more guns into the meta, and the Cold War guns definitely need some love at range. But yeah, it's nice that they give us a clear depiction of what they're doing here, whether like it's bullet velocity or this one's effective damage range or the reinforced heavies, a little bit of everything. Then basically the Task Force Spetsnaz barrel or the CMV barrel, basically it's the same as the reinforced, but even better as far as range, but it slows down like your ADS and your movement speed more. So definitely look through this stuff real carefully, and you'll see what you like, what you don't like. If you want to put something on that help your range even more, or if you want to go with an in-betweener that helps out a little bit of everything for range but doesn't hurt your ADS and your move speed as much, or if you just want to go all out for range, you could use this. Or if a gun already has good recoil, maybe like the Krig or the Stoner or something, um, or well, I guess if it was just for an assault rifle, excuse me, it'd have to be like the Ranger. Like if it already has like good recoil, like the Krig or something like that, or the Farah now, and you just want bullet velocity and recoil control, you can just put that guy on. Other than that, they made a little bit more of an optic changes for the Black Ops Cold War reticles, some even more, which is a good thing. Like the two times still wasn't after they adjusted in season 3 the reticles, they did the axle, the multi zoom, and the 4 times, but they didn't touch the 2 times, and I know they that one's on par with them now. Then they did some optic shifts here. Then for the underbarrels, last one, bruiser grip for the snipers, aiming stability increased 10% to 19%. So there's that. And then there's some other stuff, operator stuff, like the rose skin was nerfed again to make it more visible, and there's some other stuff down here. And here's the download size if you haven't done that already. But other than that, like I said, huge update. There's a lot of scrolling there. So like I said, definitely check out the description below and take your time to look through all these notes. Alright guys, that does it for the Season 4 patch notes. There's just so much content here. Like I said, I'm going to leave the link of the website down in the description below, so if you want to check this out more in detail and take your time to look it over, I highly recommend it. But other than that guys, make sure to port her up, and I'll catch you in the next one.